That's 800-837-1182.
We have not been talking enough about Donald Trump. And let's just talk about Donald Trump, because he signed that tax bill that helped the wealthy. And he went down to Mar-a-Lago and he said to all his friends, you just got a lot richer. That is Exhibit A. And I can tell you the hardworking people in Nevada were not in that room.
We are back. Let's talk about Donald Trump then, A.B. Stoddard. Take the senator's hint.
Well, I think that the best moment that Mike Bloomberg had was his first moment when he basically said, I've made a lot of money and I'm giving a lot away to the Democratic Party, and I intend to spend it to beat Donald Trump. And I think that's the best gift I can give my children. And people in the crowd got really excited because, back to the fear-driven voter, they want to get rid of Donald Trump. And again, the last 2 weeks have been among the most horrifying in the entire Trump presidency. There was more than enough for the candidates to work with. And the centering, unifying thing that Klobuchar finished with in her closing remarks is the drive to replace Donald Trump. I just don't think the candidates spent enough time on it. I don't think they articulated why these last 10 days have been such a dramatic illustration of the threat of a second Trump term, if he's doing this now and he's facing re-election. So I just think that that's something they need to keep in mind for the next debate, which is just days away.
David Plouffe, the problem with these debates is you have these media questioners. You know, you can't just say what you want to say. So much has been made of this process being about purity testing. Isn't that on us? We get to drive these conversations. In the questions we have honed down as teams of moderators. So you're going to get what you're going to get.
Yeah, no, it's bounded, but, you know, you need to say what you want to say. So any good candidate and team preparing for a debate like this knows the 2 or 3 things they want to say regardless of where the question comes in. So you're bounded a little bit. But I would say, you know, having been through these debates, you know, before, they're trying to win the nomination. The people who will decide this election, swing voters in the general election, or people we need to register, are not watching this debate. They're not watching this program. So let's not say we missed opportunities to hit Trump because the people in the general election aren't paying attention. I do think that I actually think Sanders has the cleanest electability message. He says it's going to take a lot more turnout. I can do that. You know, I have my questions about that. I think they all could have been crisper on that. So to raise the stakes. And if this gets down to a 2 or 3 person race, I think you'll see more crispness there, particularly aimed at Sanders. The problem is, whether it's right now or if you go to a convention, unless this changes, there's not a lot of evidence in the polling that suggests like all the other Democrats beat Trump by 10 and he loses by 10. You know, I mean, it's relatively close. So if that were to change, I think it would undermine his case dramatically, but it hasn't yet.
And that's the thing. I think that will be the real challenge. What I was saying before, it's not so much that you would get to a contested convention and it's overruling the will. But let's say you get to a contested convention, because I do think Bernie Sanders is going to be the delegate leader. I think everybody on stage admitted that they think that. Yeah, they kind of admitted it's going to be the case. Yeah. But let's say he's got to get 1990. He gets there with 1,400, and the polls in August, when we're at the convention, are showing Trump 49. Sanders 47, or Trump 51, Sanders 49. Then you've got a real challenge on your hands, because your delegate leader is not looking like the guy who can win the presidential election. Now, all of this is speculative, but these are the kinds of things that are making everybody else on the stage right now say, hey, we're nervous, and you know what? I'm not going to give up my delegates because I don't know what this guy's going to look like this fall, which is the same argument that Bernie had against Hillary 4 years ago.
Right. So, but I would say this. So we're going to nerd out on the numbers. So if Bernie Sanders, though, is at 1,400 or 1,500, and the next closest person's at like 700, I don't think there's any way he's not going to be the nominee. Yeah. If somebody else has emerged as the alternative and is able to get within 100 or so, you might have a debate. So that's what has to happen, and it has to happen now.
Right.
We're not sitting in like a conference room with a whiteboard saying, like, if in 2 weeks, tonight, Brian, when you're on this stage, someone has not emerged as someone who in, you know, the rest of March after. So basically, somebody has to survive Super Tuesday, in my view, so that when you've got Michigan and Missouri and Washington and Ohio and Arizona and Florida and Wisconsin, big states producing delegates, they're able to not just be the second place person, but win some of those states. I think that's what this comes down to.
And then the question is, how do you do that, and do you have enough money to do it? So the one thing that these debates can do is to help you fundraise so that you can get through Super Tuesday. Because remember, you have to also get through California, Texas, all the other states that were in Super Tuesday before. It's very expensive. So tonight, did anyone increase their fundraising numbers? Did somebody create a moment that helps to make the case why they should get more money? Because you're going to price out. A lot of these guys won't make it through Super Tuesday because they're just going to be out of cash. And so the question becomes, Sanders is the one who never has that problem because he has a self-regenerating money machine that will never stop. None of his people are ever going to walk away, and they're going to keep giving him money. So, yeah, and I think it's way too late. If we're starting to talk about at a brokered convention, Sanders goes in with the most delegates, and he doesn't get the nomination. It's civil war in the Democratic Party, and that's not how you beat Trump.
Let me one more question to Joy Reid, and I know we have to get to a break. No one quarreled with your triage of Bloomberg's performance tonight. Is there a way his answers could get better fast? Like, does he need a new, I designed a computer no one else thought of, and I made a lot of money as a result?
He probably shouldn't say, I'm a Microsoft guy, like Pete Buttigieg.
Yeah.
That probably wasn't the way to go. But I am surprised that as the former mayor of New York, he didn't say, I'm the mayor of New York City. Donald Trump just penalized my whole state and tried to, try to strong arm us on his insane immigration views. Whatever you think of me personally and whatever you think of the things I've said, I've apologized for them. But that is a lot worse. The Southern District of New York, my state, is being attacked by the President of the United States. Whatever you think of me, whatever you think of the things I've done, I can give all the philanthropy in the world. It may not change your mind, but you don't want that man to be your president. I'm not running to be the most popular Democrat. I can never be more popular than the man next to me or the woman next to me or any of the people on the stage. They have been Democrats longer than I have. They're better Democrats than I have. But you know what I have? The ability to beat Donald Trump. I don't know why he didn't switch every answer to that, because that pivot is a lot better than saying the NDAs were consensual.
Right. That's why I asked Joy Reid that question. Another break for us. When we come back, we're going to talk about something that a lot of things got by tonight. Bernie Sanders' answer on climate change among them.